A pleasant evening to everyone. We are delighted to present you this webinar on innovative approaches to American literature. Adhering to our culture, let us start the session with Tamil Thai Valthu, which will be led by Miss Angeline, 3rd BA English.
நீராறும் கடலொடுத்த நிலமடந்த கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ் பரத கண்டமெதில் தெக்கணமும் அதிசிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனகும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனகே தமிழனகே உன் சீரிழமை திறவியந்த செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Thank you, Angeline. I now request Ms. Ashwini, 3rd BA English, to welcome the participants.
A very good evening to everyone present here. It's my privilege to have been given this opportunity to welcome you all on behalf of Department of English of Prince Venkateshwara Arts and Science College. The Literary Club has been a prestigious association of our college and strives at overall student development by nurturing in them the spirit of learning and participation. Today's webinar also carries this objective, and it aims to provide a framework on innovative approaches to American literature. To lead this brilliant session, we have with us Dr. R. Kannan as today's resource person. It's an honor to have you with us today, sir. I welcome our Honorable Chairman, Dr. K. Vasudevan, who has been our ideal inspiration. Welcome, sir. Then I extend my welcome to our Vice Chairperson, Engineer V. Prasanna Venkatesh, and Dr. K. Vishnu Karthik, whose ideologies and approaches has molded this institution to what it is today. I welcome our beloved Principal Ma'am, Dr. M. Uma Bhaskar, who have been our source of strength and support. Finally, I would like to welcome all our professors and student participants to this wonderful session. I hope we as students would give a sincere participation and make this session engaging and interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwini. I request Ms. Yamini, Assistant Professor and IIC Coordinator, Department of English, to present you with the objectives of Institutions Innovation Council through a PowerPoint presentation.
Good afternoon or good evening all. Just a sec, I'll share the screen. Once again, good evening all. It's a happy moment to meet you all in this digital forum. And IIC means Institutions Innovation Council. The prime motive of this council and cell is to encourage, inspire, and nurture the young students as well as the staff in order to make them invest in patents as well as new ideas, as well as make them an entrepreneur in the field of education. And this IIC is in a tie-up with MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development. It was initiated and established by our Government of India. And about IIC is a faculty expert student council which has multiple activities to promote the innovation as well as the entrepreneurship ideas throughout the academic year. And the main objective is to prepare the students with the critical thinking skills, design thinking, innovative thoughts process, and entrepreneurship mindset. The functions of IIC. The IIC has been conducting entrepreneurship and innovation related activities in academia, and also it will identify and reward innovations and share successful stories throughout that academic year. It not only that, it also organizes workshops, seminars, and interactions with entrepreneurs, investors, professionals, as well as mentor pools for student innovators. And other functions of IIC is it's really wanted to create an institution innovation portal to highlight the innovative projects which was carried by the institutional faculty as well as the students. It also organizing hackathons, idea competitions, mini challenges, which involves many industries and individual programs and all. And this is the high up of our IIC. 50% of the period we spend in semester-based activities plan and 30% activities related to the interdepartmental centers and units and 20% IIC participants in MIC self-driven programs and all. The major focuses of IIC is it's about startups, entrepreneurship supporting mechanism in higher education institution. It also prepares institution for Atal ranking of institution on innovative achievements framework. It also developed the better cognitive ability in the students. And some of the benefits of these institutions for faculties as well as students are it will help them to win prizes and certificates every month when they participate in self-driven activity or in any new innovative ideas and all. And they also get opportunity to nourish their knowledge and produce new ideas for their development. And it also helps them to venture and visit new places and to learn new cultures also. And our college is certified and for this IIC cell and it's ranking with 4 points in it. And finally, the very motto and the theme of this IIC is to imagine and innovate and invent the students as well as the faculty member inside the institution throughout the academic year. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I request Ms. Evangeline, Assistant Professor and Literary Club Coordinator, Department of English, to recount the feats of English Literary Club.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all eagerly waiting to listen to the keynote speaker. Before that, I just want to briefly give an account of the Literary Club and its mission. The English Literary Club of Prince Sri Venkateswara Arts and Science College, Gaurivakkam, has been founded to promote language and literature. It encourages enthusiastic participation of the students in club activities. It's a platform to exhibit your literary talents through performance, art, as well as through extempo, debate, and other speech activities. It conducts various competitions at intra-departmental, interdepartmental, and intercollegiate levels. It actively participates in Chennai Literary Festival every year. The club organizes a rich and diverse array of literary activities such as debates, group discussions, poetry writing and recitation, short story writing, quiz contests, interactive lecture sessions, etc. So the club has been instrumental in building a community of creative, imaginative, and thoughtful students. It has created deep awareness about several issues of local and global importance. At the individual level, the students have been greatly benefited by their performance or participation in the events. They have also acquired some highly valued skills and professional fields such as effective communication, leadership skills, interpersonal communicative skills, and so on. So Literary Club also offers opportunities to participate at national level fests. Its mission is to work in tandem to benefit students in the disciplines of writing and speaking by conducting events that are both instructional and enjoyable, and to exhibit the talents of students and showcase them in literary events, to organize activities that provide opportunities to develop excellent communication skills, and to analyze the fine nuances of various faculties of literature. So recently we've had Athena 2022, of which we were all a part. It was an interdepartment event. So we had all these events: literary quiz, spell bee, paint a poem as you like it, dump charades, twist the tail, mime, elocution, and debate. So here are a few pictures. So thank you. We promise you to keep up the time and we'll finish it on time. Happy learning. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now request all the participants to turn on their video for a photo session. Thank you all. You can switch off your camera now. I now request Ms. Yashashwati, 3rd BA English, to introduce our resource person for the evening.
Good evening to everyone present here. It is my greatest pleasure to welcome everyone who are attending this meeting, including our guest speaker, Dr. R. Kannan. He is an associate professor in Hindustan Institute of Science and Technology. He completed his MPhil and PhD in English literature at Madurai Kamaraj University in the year 1998 and 1999 respectively. He began his career as a part-time lecturer in Madurai Kamaraj University and worked his way up through various instances as lecturer and assistant professor. He is a man of excellent caliber and contributed various articles and research papers pertaining to his studies on English language. He also acts as an editorial board member for an UK-based bi-weekly journal of language teaching and research. He is also the editor of Humanities and Social Science, an open bi-weekly journal. He is also a reviewer for many such journals. He is currently guiding candidates for their research at PG and master's level. He has written over more than 28 articles based on his field study and expertise from his years of experience. He has also contributed to many books like Problems and Perspectives in Teaching English. He has contributed to many career advancement courses and workshops all over India at both national and international level. It is an honor to have you here today and guiding us with your valuable experience, sir.
Yes. Good evening to all. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am using both my laptop as well as mobile phone. Since my laptop video I am not able to play due to some problem. So I will share the screen through my laptop so that we can all see. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay. Thank you all. So thank you for your nice introduction as well as about your department and the various activities you are all involving or doing. So to keep on continue those activities. Now I will go straightly to the American literature. Jivalada, video is necessary. Jivalada? Okay, anyhow, I'll continue. So I'm not going to take much of your time. So already it is maybe 6:45. So I'm going to take only 10 to 20 or maximum 25 minutes. So before starting that, I'm not an expert in American literature or I'm not a scholar. I'm going to share with you what all I know. That's all. Because the sources which I'm going to discuss with you or share with you through PowerPoint presentation and discussion, I have collected various materials from various sources. So it's only a brief about American literature. Already, maybe higher semester students, some introduction about American literature, American authors, poet, dramatist, whatever it may be. Now, this is the content of today's program. First, we are going to start with the background to American literature, some of the important authors of American literature, periods of American literature, Harlem Renaissance, because this played a major role in shaping the American literature and American writers, multiculturalism. Since America is a country where you can see citizens from different nations, especially you know that when you read the history of American literature or when you trace the history of American literature, you come to know people, especially from European countries, right? They go and settle in America. This is how we get the America. it is not based on citizens from single nation, from different nations. Nowadays, as we are all living in the 21st century, people from all over the world or across the globe, they want to work in America, either for study purpose or for work purpose. We have a dream to go to America. It is a dream land, you can say, right? So that is why it is multiculturalism. A different type of culture are there in America. Brief analysis. It's a very brief analysis of two poems and one of the important novel by Arthur Miller. Um, Arthur Miller is one of the dominant and very influential novelist who got Nobel Prize for, I think, Death of a Salesman. I think some of you may be familiar with it. I think the faculties, they know. And the Crucible video summary, which I have given only the link, you can get the video summary by clicking the link. And finally, very important thing, after all these discussions, what are all the job opportunities available for English graduates, both undergraduate as well as postgraduate students? That I'm going to show. Only few. There are a lot of avenues are available. A number of opportunities are available for English graduates, which many of the students you do not know what are all job opportunities, right? So that I'm going to give you two tips for all the areas in which you can join or excel. That is the final part, right? Straight away, I'm going to the introduction, brief introduction, right? You can have a question. What is American literature? So before starting American literature, we have a lot of literature like British literature, Indian writing, Indian literature, Canadian literature, American literature, Caribbean literature, German literature, Russian literature, etc., etc. So many new areas are there. It's emerging field are there in literature. When it comes for American literature, when it began or when did it American literature begin? Right. So when you go for the or when you study the literature, literature has been existing very long years in America, dating back to just I'm not going to read. Just I'm going to give you few points. That's all. Dating back to 5th century, you know that when is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. So it is relatively a new country or new nation, youngest nation in the world, around 1,500 something, 1,497 something like that. The history and all, you know. It has only more 500 or 600 years of history alone. That's all. But when it was formed as a new country, literature was not there. Only during the 17th and 18th centuries, literature came into existence in America. But the historians say, the researchers say, or critics, the critics say that America has literature far back as far as the 5th century, right? It is called the Mayan books, M-A-Y-A-N, Mayan books. So, who are the people were there in America? Native American culture. You know that the black people, they are called as Red Indians, right? Before this, the people which we are seeing now, American, the so-called Americans, they are settlers. They are not the native people, right? They are immigrants, you can say. There are so many terms are there in literature. The native people are the black people. They are called as the maybe Red Indians. You know when you read the history of American literature. So they are the original inhabitants. You can say indigenous people, right? Aboriginal people. Now the Mayan books were there as far as the 5th century, right? But when especially the European nations or other countries, they recognize American literature only from the 17th century onwards, right? Before that, they did not. People from the literarians or critics who belong to literature, they did not accept the literature before 17th century as real literature. Only from the 17th century onwards, uh, they take into account that. Next, who are all the major writers of American? I think these some of the writers you know very well, like Edgar Allan Poe. Before Allan Poe, many writers were there, like John Smith, who is responsible for the earliest works of American literature. Philip Wheatley, who wrote the first American book, and Edgar Allan Poe, who is one of the predominant, well-known poetic poet of American literature, who stands out as the romantic era, represents the romantic era of the American literature. Henry Wordsworth Longfellow, shortly you call us Longfellow, who is also a celebrated poet. Then Emily Dickinson, some of you were very familiar with Emily Dickinson, who's a women poet who lived a very short life, but wrote excellent poems. Some of the poems, it is a bunch of poems. She has written more number of poems, more than I think 100 or 500. I don't know exactly. One of the best poets America has produced. Mark Twain, again, a novelist, well-known novelist from America, who is known for humor and realism. Hemingway, again, a novelist, a renowned novelist, who main theme, who deals with the disillusionment of the lost generation of America. Another writer, women writer, Toni Morrison, who is an Afro-American writer. She got an origination in Africa, settled in America, and one of the best writers, received Nobel Prize for Literature, right? And whose main theme is revolving around the Black experience, and also received the Nobel Prize in the year 1993. And next comes, what are all the periods of American literature? It is divided into some category, like the colonial and early national poetry, starting from 17th century to 1830. That is the first quarter of the 19th century. The Romantic period, which is starting from 1830 to 1870. Realism and naturalism, 1870 to 1910. The modern period, or modernist period, you can call 1910 to 1945. Then contemporary period, 1945 to the present. Right? These are all the rough periods for American literature. Then another Renaissance, which plays a major role in the American literature, is the Harlem Renaissance. It happens in the neighborhood of the New York City, which is a Black cultural, which is considered as the Black cultural Mecca in the early 20th century. And because of this Harlem Renaissance and its the subsequent consequences, we can say, are the subsequent social changes and artistic explosion has been taken place, right? So it happened between 1910s to the mid 30s, roughly you can say 15 to 20 years. That's all. This period is considered as a golden age, especially the Afro-American literature, because many writers from Africa, that is very good writers, or you can say even say best writers or excellent writers from African nation, they contributed towards the American literature, like the culture, American culture manifesting in literature, music, stage performance, and that is why this period is considered as the golden age. Now, next point is multiculturalism. As I already told you initially, this America is known for people from different nations. It is a nation of settlers, right? People from different, especially many people from European nations, they went and settled and they formed their own locality, city, and thereby America got its name. Cities. It is called as the United States. It is not a one nation like India or Russia. Russia also is a combination of different states, like the UK, you can say United Kingdom, or England. German, like it is one nation, but America is a combination of around 50 states, 47 to 50 states, right? You can say New York City, something like that, right? So each and every place was created by different people from different nations, and they gave their name, a different name, right? So multiculturalism refers to different cultures, you can say. See, where you can see multiculturalism, you can see multiculturalism in big cities, like in our context, in Chennai, you can see, right? It's a metropolitan city. Why it is called as metropolitan city? This because people from different states, you can see, right? In Chennai, you can see people from not only Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Kerala, Karnataka, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Assam, Bihar. So from almost all the, you can see people from almost all the states. There may be representation. Suppose if you go, there is a place called in Chennai, Saukarpet. You can where you can see people from North India from a particular state. Likewise, wherever you go in Chennai, it is dominated by a group of people from different states. So where you can see different type of cultures, food habit, dress habit, environment, different language. Right? That is multiculturalism. People from different nations, different cultures, multiculturalism. There is more than one culture. So multiculturalism, which includes individuals from different cultures or different backgrounds. Right? So with regard to the literature, so for example, when you say in Indian writing in English, right? For example, if I say British literature, there may be whoever is considered as a British author, whoever is considered as an American author, they represent the American culture alone. Whereas when you say British, Indian writing or Indian literature, or Indian writing in English means, for example, you can say a writer called Bama, who is from Tamil Nadu, from Dalit literature, right? So what you can see writers, they represent their own region. They are not representing the entire nation. See, suppose if I write something, suppose, for example, if I am a novelist from Tamil Nadu, I represent my own culture, my own state. I'm not going to represent the language or culture or whatever it may be of other states. That is, it's a regional literature. So Indian literature is part of the majorly it is a regional literature, but it comes under India. Whereas when you say the American literature or when you say the British literature, this is one language. They represent one language. They represent one culture. But here we have lot of culture. That is why India is called as the unity in diversity. It is a pluralistic society. It is a pluralistic nation. There is no one language. There is no one culture is prevailing here in India. We have lot of languages. So many languages. So many culture. So many climates. So many food habits. So many dressing patterns. Different type of cultures we have. It is called the diverse cultures or diverse backgrounds there in India, right? Now, in America, you can see, likewise in America also, you can see, as I already told you, various people from various nations, they go and settle there and they produce literature. So it is multi-ethnic or multicultural. So it consists of writers from various nations. They represent their own. See, for example, a writer from India go and settle in America. They write, even though they are getting jobs in America, they are settling in America, but still people who migrated from India to America, they write about the Indian nation, their mother nation, not the America. Of course, they discuss something about the American nation in which they are living now, but a major contribution is towards their mother nation, that is India. Or a writer from German, a writer from Africa, go and settle in America. They most of their writings revolving around themes and all, characters and all, story and all, everything from their own nation. So that is why it is called as multi-ethnic or multicultural characters, right? So being that America is the melting pot of cultures, right? It's a different cultures, people from different nations across the globe, they go and settle there, and then they produce literature, right? So it makes sense for the American literature to have a preponderance of multicultural in its writing. So that is why we get the multiculturalism or multicultural, multi-ethnic literature in American literature. Now, it is going on like who are all the authors that you can see in the list. I'm not going to give you in detail. So authors from Native American, Latin American, Arabic, Indian, and writers from people from Asian countries. So they go and settle. So they are the prominent writers, right? So and one thing you can see in this multiculturalism, even though you will be paid highly paid job you get in America, you are settling there, but still uh, the people who are coming from different nations to unsettling in America, there will always be an identity crisis will be there. That's what they are doing. The inclusivity and identity in America, a place which is known for mixing every identity together, as well as people trying hard to maintain a sense of their cultural life. It is very difficult to maintain your culture. Suppose if you go to a place in America where the American people are dominant, the Native American is there, or American people, white American is there. If you try to expose or disclose your identity, it is a dangerous one in America. Even though you can say it is a dreamland, you can get job, highly paid job, everything luxurious life you can live, everything you can say, but still, if you disclose your identity in certain places, in countries, especially in other countries, it's very difficult. You will get a good response. Sometimes it will be dangerous because in American culture, you can know, you know that people, even a very small boy, can keep gun. See, right? So they won't treat us equally. It is always there in America. Right? So that is also there. That also will be reflected in their writings, right? Okay. Then poems. Some of the poems which we can see through this. The first writer is Edward Arlington Robinson. The lifetime is 1869 and died in the year 1935. Some of the notable works, writings by Robinson is Richard Cory. This particular work is prescribed in some of the colleges and universities. Mr. Fred's Party and Miniver Shivi, The Man Against the Sky awards. He has got Pulitzer Prize. Again, this is this prize is given in the literary field all over the world. It is considered like it is like an Oscar. How Oscar is given to the cinema field, or the Nobel Prize for literature and other areas, like Pulitzer Prize, right? So he has got Pulitzer Prize, and this is the brief analysis of the Richard Cory, the poem that you can see. I will share the slide with you. So what is about the poem? Just I'm giving you the very brief introduction about the poem. It gives the social class between people, and that outward appearances are not always what they seem to. So this is the crux of the poem, right? So you can see there is a proverb in English: appearance is deceptive. See, you cannot judge a people. You cannot judge a person just by the outward appearance, right? Many times we end up wrongly by judging the people. So that is the crux of the poem. The gap in social class between the people and that outward appearances are not always what they seem to be. Even you can see some of the richest persons, when you see them, they will be very ordinary people by their appearance, but they will be multimillionaires. There are some people, very normal people, but outwardly looking, they look as if they are all very rich people. They are all from the aristocratic family or the political background or the rich people. But when you inquire and talk to them, then you come to know that they do not have the richness, right? They have a richness only in their dress, not in the economic side, right? So that is the main point that the poem gives us. It's the story, right? Which I'm not going to give you because we don't have much time. Then next important poet is one of the prominent and well-known poet is Robert Frost, right? Again, Robert Frost is a typical American poet, born in 1874 and died in the year 1963 at the age of 88. So known no, Robert Frost is known for his uh, depicting or describing the rural side of the New England. Here, New England refers to the America, New England life, and he uses the colloquial speeches, colloquial terms, and the language in his writings. And his poetry is about the ordinary people. He is not discussing anyone who is uh, that is from the aristocratic family or the kings or queens or higher state of the society, right? He discusses or he deals with only the ordinary people in everyday situations. That's all about his poet, but he is a very great poet, right? Uh, so what is the very famous or important poems by Robert Frost? The Gift Outright, Stopping by Woods on a Snowing. I think this poem, many of you might have read. I think all of you might have read in your school days, maybe in your 10th standard, +1 or +2. It is a the poem may be very simple poem, but it contains a lot of meaning, layers of meaning, not only the ordinary meaning. If you read each and every time, it consists of a different type of meanings. If you go deep into the poem, you get lot of meaning. You can get the philosophical meaning, spiritual meaning, literal meaning. So many meaning you get. You can interpret in any way this poem. This is one of the very influential poem and famous poem by Robert Frost. And Birches, another poem, Mending Wall. This is also again prescribed in many universities and colleges, both undergraduate and postgraduate level. The Road Not Taken, again a different poem, and Nothing Gold Can Say. These are all some of the most famous poems by uh, uh, Robert Frost. So one important fact about the Robert Frost is that you can see Frost wrote the poem "The Road Not Taken" as a joke about his friend. Imagine, it is only a joke. That's how he started wrote this poem. But think that the meaning it has given, it consists of lot of meanings and layers of meaning. So Frost is also one of the first of few or five poets to recite a poem at a US presidential inauguration. So whenever new president taking the oath, uh, Frost was one among the five poets. Only few poets got this rare opportunity. So Frost was also one of the poets who recite a poem at a US presidential inauguration. Now, the road not taken, that you know, how people, it is about the road, which road you are going to take, whether you are going to take the road taken by others or you want to be a different one. So that's about the poem. Again, I'm not going to give you deeply, and it discusses about the meaning and the explanation and also the rhyme scheme, everything. It consists of yampic, tetrameter and all. The rhyme scheme is ABAAB, something like that, that you can see in the PPT. And another poet which we are going to discuss about is Ezra Pound. He is very important author, American writer. If no Ezra Pound means, we would not have got writers like James Joyce and T.S. Eliot. This is because of Ezra Pound. Not only these two poets, uh, for so many contemporary writers benefited by Ezra Pound, because for these writers, these contemporary writers, he read the poem and make corrections and finalize the poems or whatever they write, maybe a poetry line or prose piece or the novel or the drama. He did all the editing works. Right? So he has he is a very important poet in American literature. If Ezra Pound was not there, we do not have this, did not have this T.S. Eliot or James or some other writers. Right? Who was Ezra Pound? His full name is Ezra Loomis Pound. So he is again an American, typical American writer. In the year born in the 1885 and died in 1972 in Italy, that is in Venice. Who is an American poet and critic and very energetic. See the terms they are using: energetic, entrepreneur. So the term entrepreneur refers to something related to the business context. So business administration, entrepreneur. It's not entrepreneur, it is entrepreneur. Used in, you can say entrepreneur means those who are in the business realm. So here the term is used. Energetic entrepreneur means someone who is very energetic, very dynamic, very active in the field of literature, right? So of the arts, who did more than any other single figure to advance modern movement in English and American literature, who contributes not only to American literature but also to the English literature, that is the British literature, whose contribution to the modern movement to both the American and the British literature is immense. This is what the critics say. See, he promoted and occasionally helped to shape the works of such writers like novelists and writers like W.B. Yeats. Again, one of the very important poets, James Joyce, Ernest Hemingway, Robert Frost, D.S. Lawrence, and T.S. Eliot. These are all the writers, very, very, very important, renowned writers in literature. Right now, rest of the things I will pass it on. Then there is a poem by very short poem by Ezra Pound. It is called as "In a Station of the Metro." This is the poem. This is the entire poem. The apparition of these faces in the crowd, petals on a wet black bow. It's a poem. The title of the poem is "In a Station of Metro." It talks about a station in the metro. There is a metro station like Chennai. You can say the metro rail. I think all of you know familiar with the metro rail. Likewise, the metro station, station of the metro. That's all about the poem. So what he says, it is only a two-line. The poem consists of only two lines. Two-line poem. This is the line. It's a couplet. Only two lines, not more than that, right? So two-line poem is a famous example of imagism. Again, a concept used by. It's a poetic form headed by the spearheaded by the Pound that focuses on clear images through precise, accessible language. So that is imagism. Image, you can say image. Right? Sometimes when you suppose, very good example I can give you. See, if I tell you a story, cinema story, if I explain it to you orally, a cinema story for 1 hour. Now, if the same story is shown as a picture, as a movie or a video for 10 minutes, which one you remember most? You will remember only the movie, not what I explained to you for more than 1 hour. So the image has such a potential, you can retain more. So that is imagism, right? Image, the pictures you see. So when you see a picture, that will give you lot of meaning. So you can interpret in any way when you see a picture. Here, the imagism refers to the relating images through precise, accessible language is called imagism. He is a proponent of this images movement. That's about the poem, right? Then next thing is next writer is Wallace Stevens, who is again an American writer, born in there 1879 and died in 1955. So an American poet whose main theme or he dwells upon or exploring the interaction of reality and what man can make of reality in his mind. That is about his major theme. His notable works are Harmonium, Sea Surface Full of Clouds, and the awards he received are all Bollingen Prize in 1949, National Book Award. Again, he also received Pulitzer Prize. So one poem which I have given here is The Snowman by Wallace Stevens. So this particular piece was published in the year 1921 in the magazine called Poetry, which is again reprinted in Stevens's first collection, Harmonium. Harmonium is a collection of poems published in the year 1923. So this poem is considered to be the most popular short poems. Right? He was influenced by one of the famous romantic poets, British poet like John Keats, right? During his earlier part of his career. So his distinctive voice, you can see his distinctive voice and approach. Once he moved away, he was moved away from the clutches of Keats' shadow, right? So he set his own style and manner when he was moving away from the Keats. The Snowman is about the rejection of the romantic impulse to project your own feelings onto the natural world around you. So usually, you know what romantic writers write about. They go more, they deal more and more with the nature and the ordinary people. That's all. For example, they deal with birds or animals or the natural sceneries like woods, trees, different type of trees, different kinds of trees, different kind of animals and birds and all. That's all, right? These are the major themes of the romantic. Their main focus is on nature. That's about their writings, romantic writers. Right. So these things you can see in the romantic writers like Wallace Stevens. Then, and it goes on. It's going on like this. And another poet, another writer is Langston Hughes. He is also again one of the prominent figures in American literature. Born in 1902 and died in the year 1967 in New York. Who is also one of the important figures in the Harlem Renaissance. And he has he made some impressions on African American experience through his writings from like different genres. He talks about different genres like poetry, plays, novels, and the newspaper columns. Some of the works by Langston Hughes is The Negro Speaks of Rivers, Mule Bone, Harlem, Dream Variation, File Class to the Zoo, The Weary Blues, etc., etc., etc. It is about the poem, so which I am passing it on. And the important thing is, next we are moving to the novel by Arthur Miller, titled as The Crucible. Arthur Miller is an American novelist, born in 1915 and died in 2005. Who lived a long, very long life, nearly 90 years. American playwright, very dominant playwright in America. Whose novel, I think novel or drama, I don't remember exactly, or Death of a Salesman, I think some of you may be familiar with. Here it comes. American playwright, he's an American dramatist, whose main idea of writing the novel is he combines social awareness with a searching concern for his character's inner life. So he dwells more and more of the inner aspects of characters rather than the outward world or outward nature, right? So his best known work is Death of a Salesman, I think, for which he has got Nobel Prize. Then, what was his earlier life like? He was born and raised in New York City, which is one of the important cities in America. Where in New York, his father owned a successful manufacturing business. You know that there is a Great Depression during the earlier part of the 20th century in America. Because of that, many people lost their lives. Many businessmen lost their business. In the same way, his father also lost a business in the Great Depression. So because of that, they did not have money to run their family. So he felt, Arthur Miller felt insecurity of his existence, modern existence. So his notable work is After the Fall, All Masons, The Price Incident at Vichy, Death of a Salesman, The Crucible, The American Clock. You can see the video of this work, The Crucible novel, by clicking this link, which I will share. I have already shared with your HOD. You can see that. And these all the historical context of the novel, and the title. Why this title and all? You can see there are some title. The authors, they explain why they picked this title, why they got, how they got the title and all. So initially called The Chronicle of Sarah Good, The Crucible is the title. The Crucible is a dramatization of the Salem witch trial. Salem, here in Tamil Nadu we have Salem. There is another Salem in America also, the same name, Salem. It's about the witch trial. So Miller uses the title of his play, The Crucible, as a metaphor constantly throughout the text, which reflects the real witch trial which happened in Salem, in one of the cities in America. That is how he has. It's a metaphor of the real incident. That's why he considered this title as the fit or apt one. Then, so many explanations given, which we are not going to explain, which I'm not going to explain. And it's a brief summary. There are characters given here, which you can see later. And these are all the key fact about the Crucible. The full title is Crucible. Author play Miller. It is a play, tragedy, allegory, historical fiction. The language is English. Time and place America in the early 50s, and it was first published in 1953. The publisher is the Viking Press. This is all about the technical details of the book. And the narrator is, you can see the omniscient third person narrator who fills in the background for the characters. Climax is the John Progress. It's going on. The hero, villain, antagonist, setting, everything is given here. The following action, the language, the tense is present tense, foreshadowing, tone, theme, motif, symbols, and the characters. You can see, even if it is either a novel or a play, you can see a lot of characters are involved in making a novel, or like cinema. You can see in cinema, apart from hero, villain, heroine, you can see a lot of supporting actors, right? Likewise, in the novel or the play, it's natural. And these are all the things. Some of the themes in Crucible: intolerance, hysteria, reputation, goodness, judgment. And what are all the genres involved in the Crucible is tragedy, allegory, and also historical fiction. And the allusions in the act wise. Act 1, it consists of religious allusions, and the same way, Act 2 also, you can see the religion, and so many things are there in the given in this. And the point of view technique. And for further reading, if you go, or if you have a glance at this book, you come to know more things about the Crucible, and further study companion text you can always get either online or offline. Nowadays you're all you use more technology like mobile, laptop and all. You're always in using internet, so you can search and learn these things, right? So these are all the resources from which I have collected these sources. And finally, important thing is, we are coming to the final part. What are all the job opportunities available for English graduates? Whatever area I have mentioned here is only the fraction. Apart from the areas or field I have mentioned, there are lots and lots of areas are there. Those who are completing their undergraduate BA English or MA English, or if you are going for research level, there are lot of areas are available, right? You can see one by one. A content writer, the area in which you can develop the skill in content writing, creative writing. If you want to become an author, some of you may be excellent at writing poems, short pieces, or diary writing habit, or you can write novel or a short play. So you will become a creative writer. Journalism, no need to study separately a course called journalism. If you are good at language, you can become an editor in a newspaper or social media, right? Yeah, so many opportunities are available in the field of journalism, mass communication. You will become an anchor, right, in TV, social media marketing. You can also prepare government exam. There are so many exams are available, both the state level as well as central level, for which language is very important. Whatever exam you can write or whatever exam you can prepare, so language is part of that exam, right? You can also prepare for civil services exam, which is considered to be one of the toughest exams in the world, right? But if you prepare regularly, constantly, then you can crack the exam. Teaching field, again, one of the field. Either you can become, after completing your undergraduate degree BA English, you can become a school teacher, either in the government sector or in the private sector. You can also go for B.Ed in the concerned subject. If you are from English graduate, you can do a course in program in B.Ed English, so that you can become a teacher in school. And if you want to pursue MA and research, you can become a college professor, assistant professor, something like that, either in college level or at university level. Copywriter, translator. If you are fluent in English, If you are thorough, confident in English, so you can become a translator. You can also get jobs in publishing industry, then lexicographer, news writer or news editor, authors. You can become authors, right? Like if you are good at writing poems, you can publish your poems in YouTube, or you can post it in the social media like Facebook, WhatsApp group, Instagram, Twitter. So many social media platforms are available, or you can create a blog where you can share your ideas. So many areas are available because of the technology, right? Columnist, you can contribute column in English newspapers, not only in English, even in your regional language also. If you are from, if you know Tamil or some other language, if you know Hindi or Telugu or Gujarati or Malayalam or Kannada, whatever your mother tongue, even in that language also you can contribute your column, especially in English also. In English newspapers, you can contribute column. Some of the burning issues, prevailing issues, you can think of it and write something, some 5 to 10 links, you can send it. Initially, your contributions will be rejected by the newspaper. You can keep on sending information or your ideas. One day they will accept you, right? And HR executive, right? Even some people, they do BA English, and then when they go for PG degree, they will go for MBA. So BA with MBA is one of the good combination. People normally they don't take, but it is a rare combination. Then you will become an HR executive, script writer in cinema or movie, freelance writer. This is also one of the emerging areas because of this, after this pandemic. So freelance is, you can contribute to, instead of applying for a job in a company or industry or any field, going to that office for and working there for 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, like you can, if you are a freelance writer, you can contribute to different field. You can write on your own, you can do your work on your own pace. So there is no commitment from your side. So you can have, for example, if you want to deliver a guest lecture in a college or school, you can go there, right? uh, or if you want to train the group of people in software industry, you can go there to some days in a month, right? You can get the appointment, and then accordingly you will be called for. Then you can go a few days in a week, 1 or 2 days in a week, or 2 or 3 times in a month. Likewise, you can get job from different area and work on your own time. So it is not necessary you have to work from 9 to 5. You can work relaxedly at your own time. For example, it is like 24/7 work. Suppose if you are free, or you get creativity during night, so you can work during night. There's no restriction for you. Freelance writer, interpreter, then social media manager, technical writer. So these are all some of the areas uh, where you can get job opportunities and work there. Apart from this also, if you go and browse in the internet, you will get lot of opportunities, right? So if you want to pursue, those who are doing final year of BA English, you can go for MA English, and after going into MA English, prepare for NET and SLET, right? Then if you pass in that, you will get a government job. You will be appointed in government colleges, government universities, and do research. If you get pass both JRF and NET also, you will get eligibility for lecturership as well as scholarship from the central government. It will be more than 30 to 40,000 per month, right? You can go anywhere in the world as per your choice, right? So you do your research, the financial aid from the central government, that is also available for those who are aspiring for research and teaching field in colleges and universities. Or if you want to go for school level, or if you want to go to some other area, it's up to you to select this. The thing is, lots and lots of opportunities are available for the English students. These things many of you do not know, right? So you go and search for the opportunities are available for BA English. The only thing is you have to get some knowledge and be confident in your language, develop your language skills, right? Soon you will get another lecture from the language skills, so that you will come to know the technical aspects of the language, how to use, where to use, and when to use, how to discuss with people and all. Will be given by the some of the expert in that field. So get some idea, be confident, and get the opportunity, and you will be settled in your life, right? So that's all about American literature. If you have any queries or anything you want to discuss, I'm ready to discuss with you.
Sir,
Yes. Am I visible? I think.
what influences American literature, sir?
What influences?
What influences American literature?
I don't get your question.
What
What do you
in,
mean? What do you mean by what influences? Whether how I influenced the American literature or American literature influence?
how I influence American literature?
How you
Uh,
you will influenced by American literature? No, I don't get your point.
Pooja, your question is not clear.
what influences the American literature? I asked now.
No, I think the question is not clear. What influences American literature? No. It is. See, there are different type of literatures, right, available. Traditionally, we take up. Am I audible to you?
Hi, sir.
Okay. Traditionally, usually, we all study British literature. We concentrate more on, since our concern is only with the British English. But as the, uh, the the years pass by, as we are all moving towards technology and all, we get different type of literatures like American literature, Canadian literature. So many literatures are nowadays available. Especially, there is another kind of literature, Caribbean literature. Latin American, there are so many writers are available, which is unknown to many people who are all still who are all in the field of literature. So it is a one type of literature, American literature. It is something different from the British literature. You know that we use in India, we use words. We do not know the difference between the American words or British words. See, you can say lift and elevator. These are two different terms. One is America, one is British. Likewise, we use different words, biscuits and cookies. Right? Likewise. So many words we are using American words, which is mixed up in British literature. It is very difficult to discriminate what is American, what is British. It is need of the hour which we are using. And these American writers, you know that I think that there is a term called American Dream. If you have time, you go and search for the term, what it means. Each and every writer from American nation, they touch upon this American dream. Say the America is a nation where everyone from other nations want to see the American country. So it is such a rich country, not only for in terms of economy, but also for literature and in almost all the field. People from almost all the nations, they are migrating or they are migrated and settled in America. So the American people, they are known for individualism. So in American society, especially in American society, individual is more important than any other type of people. Here, we do not have such kind of things in India. That gives you some clue of your question, I think.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sir,
Yes.
can you give some of the prominent themes in American literature, sir?
Some of the dominant themes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That we have already seen in the PPT. You can see the romanticism, the effects of romanticism. They discuss something. Most of the writers, they deal with the individual people, right? The individuals, their behaviors, their characters, how they behave with the society, and their dreams, their wishes, and how they want to be, and how they are. So these are all some of the major themes, nature and all, and the society, the American society, how the American, you know that there is a right T.S. Eliot, T.S. Eliot, IIRHS, and F.R. Lewis. These are the three writers. They are called as the trio of 20th century literature, not only for literature and also criticism. Right? T.S. Eliot wrote a poem called the Waste Land, for which he got Nobel Prize. It is a very long poem, and it is very difficult to read and understand the poem of T.S. Eliot because he is a Harvard professor, right? It's a high language. What he tries to say in the poem, we do not understand. Only when you read the secondary sources criticism of T.S. Eliot, you come to know what T.S. Eliot tries to say in his novel and or the play or in his poetry. The Wasteland, how he ends the poem starts with like this. The first line will be the April is the cruelest month. This is the first line of Wasteland. It ends with he tries to he needs some phrase or word to complete his poem. He tried in different languages, in English or German or French, or he did not get the word to end his poem. Finally, he got the word from Indian philosophy, that is, I think in Ramayana or Mahabharata. He ends the poem like Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. That's how he ended. For this poem, he got Nobel Prize. Right? He talks about the current American society, the society, how it is, the people, how they destroyed the society, not only the American society, the entire world. So in the name of technology, sophistication, so we are all destroying the environment, especially the environment. So if the environment is polluted, automatically we get diseases. These kind of different type of themes they deal with, especially they give more importance to the individuals, especially the inner self.
Sir, can you explain about the periods, sir?
Pardon?
Periods, can you explain, sir?
Periods.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll go to the slide. Yes, can you see it? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So it is roughly divided into 5. The first part, we can see the colonial and early national period. It is something when America was formed, because you know that people from different European nations, they went into they were all sent, not went, they were all sent to a new nation called America, and they are all settled. So this is how the first period started, and it is called the colonial period, because in the earlier time, when you make, suppose if you are building a house, you will encounter a lot of problems. Likewise, when they form the particular area or locality or the nation, they face a lot of difficulties. Entirely, it was new. So that formed their earlier literature. Later on, the second period, Romantic period, how we get the Romantic period in British literature, like Wordsworth, Keats, Byron, and Shelley. Some influences are there in the American literature. That's the second one. The third period, which is moving to different variety called the realism, discussing something real. You know that the movies which we are seeing, it's like a masala movie, you can say. But there is another type of movie, art film. Still it is coming, but only rarely people see that film. Why? Because it shows only the realism, the realistic aspect of things. No masalas, no songs, and no something. What we face or encounter in our day-to-day life, those things they will expose in their movie. So many people, normally majority of the people, they don't like that kind of movie. So the realism is it is discussing about the realistic aspect of the realistic side of the things, and naturalism it talks about or discusses about the natural things like the romantic movement, right? The romantic writers, they always deal with it because they go into the nature, they walk to the nature. You know that especially Wordsworth, he walks miles and miles every day. He will go and settle in the forest, and then he composes poems. He inspires, he gets inspiration from the nature. So this forms the realism and naturalism. The modernism, you know that modernism starts with the beginning of the 20th century, 1900s to, you can say, roughly the Second World War, up to 1950 or 1940 something. They call it as modernist. Now we are all living in the post-modernism. Some say it is ultra-modernism, something like that. They say the contemporary period. Contemporary refers to the age in which you can say, if you are a writer, if you meet another writer, it is the another writer is called a contemporary. People are living in the same age is called the contemporary writer. It starts from roughly 1945 to till the modern day. So these are all the different periods of American literature.
Sir, can you explain about crucible, sir?
The crucible.
Yes.
Okay, because of the time constraint, did not explain much. We'll go to this one. You can see here. Here, it is an it's symbolically the author wants to say something. You can see some explanation how the title is set, from which you can draw some idea. A crucible is a container. See how they make metals and all. The things are, even for the gold ornament we get, like chain or bracelet, something like that, from the pure gold, by making some process. Right? So the metal can be cast, and they use the intense pressure. You can see in the YouTube video, so that they can make some shape. So here the crucibles are often used to remove impurities from a substance, so that only the pure matter remains. So if you remove the impurities, the pure will remain. So that is also the meaning. Here the title, how far it is relevant? The title is relevant because it consists of a lot of themes and issues in that particular fray, and that we will see later in the next slide also. The theme is about witchcraft. That is the main theme. You know what is witchcraft? Anybody?
No, sir. No idea.
No idea. You can see in the Google, search bar Google. Anybody? Anyone? Anyone of you?
Sir, thank you, sir. I understood, sir.
Okay. No. I expect your answer. By the time you can search in your Google. All of you possess mobile.
So sorry for interpreting. Whether there is any good example of multiculturalism, sir?
Pardon? I don't get it.
Whether there is a good example for multiculturalism?
Yes, of course.
Can you say it?
Where? Which one?
Any good example, sir?
No. In Crucible or?
Multiculturalism.
Yes. Of course. You can see. Actually, even when we say America, English is dominant, but there are. It is a combination of different states. Means, right? If you go one state, for example, New York or New Jersey or something like that, the culture is different. See? They say South is known for different type of people. North is known for different type of people in America. I think South is meant for black and North is meant for white or vice versa. I don't know. When you go the certain direction in America, only the black people will be there. The culture is different. The writers from the African nations, they go and settle there, and then it is a dominant area of black people. Or when you move to some other direction in America, you can see the people of the American people predominantly will be there. Or if you go to some other part, either or west or east, people from other nations you can see. So in this way, the multiculturalism prevail in America, because when we say, like for example, when you go south of Tamil Nadu, the environment is entirely different. If you come to Chennai and Coimbatore and all, the environment is entirely different. You can meet people from other state, different type of states, and food habit and the dressing sense, everything is different in cities like this. This is not same with each and every city of Tamil Nadu, even though everything is integrated in Tamil Nadu, the culture is entirely different. See, the culture, you cannot take the meaning of culture in a literal sense. You should see the term culture in different perspectives so that you will get the answer.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry for intervening.
Yes,
We'll
yes.
just have the last two questions from a student, and then we'll move on with vote of thanks.
Okay.
So we are
No,
running out of time.
No, yes, yes. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
have you visited America, sir?
No.
If yes, could you please narrate your... No, sir.
No, no, no. I'm waiting to go. I am not such a rich person.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Sir, could
Okay.
you suggest institution for higher studies, sir?
Which one? Which institution? For?
For MA English, sir.
You can join with our institution
Which
if you don't have
institution?
any objection. Where I'm working now?
Hindustan, sir.
Yes, sure.
Okay, sir.
We also have BA English, MA English, and up to PhD level. I'm also guiding PhD scholars. The HOD is doing PhD under my guidance.
Sir, in America, there is any institution, sir?
Yes, you can search it. If you want to go to study in America, you have to clear some exams, international exams like IELTS and TOEFL, and they also have entrance exam that you can get from websites. So they will start the process much earlier. See, suppose if you want to join in America in the year 2023, they called for the application during this year, 2022, right? You can search because it is different from one institution to another. It is not uniform in America, even though different world-class universities and institutions in America is there, but still they follow different procedures that you can get from their website.
Thank
Okay,
you, sir. Your speech
yes.
is highly inspiring, sir. I'll definitely try to go one day and will invite you as my guest.
Sure, definitely. Thank you for your inspiring compliment.
Sir,
Yes.
list of characters in the suitable, sir.
Yes.
Sir, sorry. Students, we are done for the day now. You can actually mail him if you want to continue asking questions. We'll move on with the MC now.
Thank you, sir, for your brilliant session on American literature. We really enjoyed and inspired from your speech. Thank you, sir. I request Ms. Percy Devakrabai, 3rd BA English, to deliver vote of thanks.
It is an honor to have been asked to propose vote of thanks on this wonderful evening. I would like to begin this thank you note by expressing my gratitude to the Lord Almighty for making this session a successful one. Proceeding further, I express my sincere gratitude to our resource person, Dr. R. Kannan. Thank you, sir, for spending this evening with us and for the enlightening session on innovative approaches to American literature. Next, I thank our chairman, Dr. K. Vasudevan, vice chairman, V. Prasanna Venkatesh, and Dr. V. Vishnu Karthik for providing us with a platform to organize such a brilliant session. I would also like to
thank our principal ma'am for her support. Thank you, ma'am. And then I express my gratitude to the Department of English for organizing this webinar. Finally, I thank all my peers and participants for joining this webinar today. Once again, I thank you everyone for your active participation throughout. Thank you.
Thank you, Percy Devikribai. To end the session, I request Ms. Angeline to sing the national anthem, after which the participants can leave. Thank you. Have a great evening.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ कलबंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभाशिष मागे गाहे दवसय गादा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Students, before leaving, just check whether you filled in the feedback form. If not, please do and then leave.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, shall we end the session?
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.